Hi. I'm recording a short video because I'm sitting in the sunshine, powering up, feeling the rays of the sun penetrate through the brain fog and just the layers of light that are available today. I mean, look at that blue sky. I haven't seen one like that in a little while. Actually, it was like this yesterday here too. And I didn't do my hair, so I put on this hat. It's 75 degrees out. There's no need for a hat. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to have days like this. And I'm just in such deep thought about so many things around words, like usual, but specific terms like matrix, specific terms that get used a lot. And I want to talk about one distinction with like the matrix, or what people refer to as the matrix in the spiritual war and all that, and how, if we think about it, when we think about there's a lot of symbolism in the world, okay? There's a lot of symbolism baked into the actual architecture of sacred sites all around the globe that have been there for thousands and thousands of years. And when you get into the notion of sacred geometry, all of that is based around energy conduction and the flow of energy, or the hindrance of energy and the redirection of energy. And so what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of things that are part of the energy matrix that separates people from their true like spiritual power and the ascension process. And like, just to put the ascension process really simply, all it is like evolution of humans in their spiritual form being able to, upgrade their bodies and their minds in a natural unfolding. It's a natural process. It's not like if I think everybody who I might be talking to knows this, but it's not about, I had somebody say to me one time, like talking about a woman, she is a certified yoga person. She did ayahuasca. She should be so much further along her spiritual journey. Like, all of that means nothing. You can be deeply, deeply immersed in your spiritual journey and be a coal miner from North Dakota. I don't know. Not to say that coal miner isn't also a yoga teacher who's done ayahuasca, but you get my drift. Might have to pause here. There's a lot of, like, you could think of them as implants, literally implanted things into the world. Now, a lot of that is on like the exterior of Earth, but a lot of it isn't. What do I mean by that? Construction of things with certain elements or foundational components that reside underneath the surface of the earth, but are part of things that are above the earth, certain monuments and sites. I never finished this thought, so I'm inserting this clip, but the monuments and sites, right, if they have these components either in the geometry, which is moving energy, right, because that happens on a microform and a macroform, shapes and geometry, structure of things. So moving energy from a subterranean level beyond the human eye, and for all to see. It's changing the flow of energy that would naturally be happening on Earth. And then, going beyond this, the non-physical ley lines and the meridians of the energy of Earth that have certain intersecting points. And then also the notion of stargates. What has happened with the matrix? Now, there's parts of it, certain bones of it, that have been built so long ago that they've been working to keep people away from natural ascension for, longer, so much longer than people understand. But at this point, there's so much artificial, technology, not artificial technology, but technology that also it's like, I'll just go back to psychic attack really, okay? Psychic attack. With the notion of psychic attack, you can be completely fine and then get beamed in the head with a frequency that puts you into a complete state of anxiety. There are certain things, like, I've got my very deepest suspicions about all sorts of, at this point, whenever they're like, great new advancement, it's going to make everything faster and better, I'm like, okay, but going back to the whole stuff I was talking about in my long rant from the other evening, why aren't we working on healthcare? Why aren't we working on free energy? You know, why do we need faster internet? Pretty sure it's pretty damn fast. Actually, though, hey, you, cut it out. Muttley, hey. What's interesting for me, however, is that I do not believe that the internet's getting faster at all. Mine happens to be lagging quite a lot. I think a lot of people are having a lot of tech issues lately, yet we're not talking about that frequently to realize that it's a collective issue. Not to mention the technology that powers this motherfucking phone. Like, it's so annoying to me because I use voice to text a lot. I'm constantly texting, emailing, transcribing things verbally as I multitask because I have a very busy life. I'm very connected. And I'm noticing that with the intelligence of this phone, all of the intelligence that this phone possesses, why on earth is my speech, when I dictate, it's inserting commas where there's no business. There's no business having a comma in the middle of this sentence, and it should be intelligent enough to know that. And so I'm constantly having to, like, as I'm dictating things, I'm editing them and I'm fixing them, and I'm like, this is maddening. Like, don't you know somebody, especially if you're, I mean, I don't want to say younger, older, but like relatively younger person or a relatively older person, like, we all know what it's like to work with an older person who's not as familiar with technology and try to get them to understand things. When it doesn't work, that's so maddening. There's a special kind of irritation that is reserved for when our motherfucking technology doesn't work. And it has to do with patience and immediacy and what we're used to having. Like, if something just buffers automatically for years on end and then all of a sudden it's having issues doing so, that's a big issue. That's a big issue. And I kind of, like, I just think it's all like a weird farce. Whatever the F that's going on with the satellites that are moving at like warp speed around the Earth right now, I don't think they're knitting together faster service. I think it is doing a lot with what I talked about before. So there's a really strong, almost something being woven together to influence collective mindset, really. And I know that sounds like incredibly startling, but the people who get what I'm getting at will get it, and the people who don't, please email me. Now, I mean, I'm not really like, there's certain things that like algorithmically, if I say certain words in videos, then those videos will not be circulated. That's just the way of it. So that's always what I'm trying to avoid, but I have been talking more and more like explicitly about certain things, and I will continue to do it, even though it makes me kind of question my approach and everything. But I truly don't think that the right, I don't know, we'll have to see. That aside, just thinking about the Matrix as, like, yeah, so again, like as a preface to the Barbie Breakdown American Dream video that I will be doing, there'll be a lot of information about all sorts of stuff, related to what I'm talking about in this video in that. So I'm saving a whole heck of a lot of stuff for that video. But when it comes to, let me get out of the sun. Where's the shade at? Why is it so hard? Why am I so tall? What I'm trying to say basically is that when you do things like anchor into the vibration of Earth and clear your body of any type of electromagnetic like frequency from the devices, the phones, the computers, the Wi-Fi. Like, if you think about it, if you have Wi-Fi that's constantly pulsing through your house every minute of every hour of every day, that interacts with your energy body, and you got to get outside. You have to go away from that. More and more when I run errands and stuff, I'm like, if I get into an accident, somebody will call an ambulance. I don't need my phone on me all the time. I don't. I want to give myself a break from it as often as I can. I know I'm attached to my phone. I know that. I wish it wasn't like that. However, I was born in America as a woman in the 2020s. So, you know, it is what it is. But we can do what we need to do given the information that we have. And some of what I'm thinking about has to do with just being able to take seriously the amount of intervention energetically that's taking place with very non-physical stuff, really, just like your mind and how you feel. A lot of the frequencies and the displays that are coming through technology they're all supportive of, again, taking people away from being able to receive really natural parts of ascension and upgrades right now. Now that has to do with the light frequencies that come from the sun. That has to do with messages that come from different like benevolent, positive ET beings who are working to help humanity. There's a level of like detoxification and purification that people talk about with spirituality, but in fact we have to kind of engage with that to be able to continue like holding the dominant vibration, you know. That's not to say that you can't ever use screens or drugs and alcohol or like have sex even, but because there's so much negative programming with all of those things, a lot of people don't know what they're letting attach to their own energy or take from their energy when they engage with certain things without awareness around it. So that's where my thoughts are today. I just wanted to share. I'm still on my break because I'm not doing any intentional card pulls, but I have been talking a lot, recording a lot of memos and trying to process what it is that I'm receiving. And I've been trying to take space and protect my energy so that I can get, like, I've been not doing readings because I've been sitting quietly and getting like major downloads and major upgrades, and actually coming to understand the journey of my life for the past 11 years, 12 years in a new way. Because like thinking about 2012, it was really like the dawn of a really deep initiation for me, and everything that has happened since then has been in service of what is going to happen now. So I'm just kind of catching up with myself, honestly, and like reimagining a lot of things, and it's all very positive. The other thing I just wanted to say is that there's so many different waves of people in different levels of consciousness within everything that's happening. And a lot of the times when people are like newer to considering, the cognitive dissonance of shattering certain parts of what they previously latched onto when they think about what is real, there's this urgency that may arise where people are like, well, why aren't we doing something? And that's also almost like this step in the fear programming where there's a lot of false things that are still going to, like, it's very quick, right? It's very quick and easy to use discernment when you say, does it inspire fear or make me feel like I have to do something urgently? Then it's still fear programming, you know what I mean? And like, one might say, well, you're saying that I have to urgently do this and get outside. I mean, it's just a suggestion based on my own experience. And I tend to find that when you sink into a lot of the inevitabilities of what's kind of transpiring, it's like it does not require you or anybody to change what they're doing. It's all about what your awareness is going to inspire you to change and do differently, because it makes sense. And so when we have a lot of people feeling really motivated to do things differently, all of a sudden, that's a great thing. But don't forget that there's this like huge, this is like very, very big, very, very long standing cycles, very, 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 very complicated layers of like cosmic warfare, really, and the interdimensional components that are far beyond a lot of people who are in the initial stages of this. Like, it's just, frankly, it's too much to hold all at once. Even like I rove around between different topics and stuff because things come to me and it's like, wait, I'm getting information about this, I'm expanding this, and then maybe I release old things that I once thought were, more true. A lot of it is like it's not like you're bad if you get swept into a certain area of information that contains distortion. It's part of you being able to sift through that and make sense of it and move on to the stuff that does not have distortion. I've been through that a lot because, when we're looking to educate ourselves, like the internet and the experiences of people, yeah, that's really important. And you encounter stuff that may resonate with you, but maybe it's resonating because of something that you carry that's resonating from a distorted place within you, because of Akashic integration or things that you need to clear. And so, like, the truth of it is that you don't need to worry. Like, yeah, when we know better, we start living in a different way. But there's the urgency that I'm sensing within, like, some parts of the collective, especially the people who are, like, for the first time this year waking up. It's not like that. The urgency is still playing on a vibration that is, like, meant to continue putting people into, if we don't do this, then something will happen. And I mean, I said on my recording from the other day, it would be a shame if we get to a point where we're too far gone from being able to kind of back ourselves out of certain things. I mean, really, we've been in that place for a long time. Like, this takeover it happened. It got so ironclad and secure. It's so protected. It's so many layers deep. And that's why I put it into the analogy I was given, rather, from my guidance system. This metal thing breaking down, this train car, this collision, this deconstruction of something that is so ironclad. That's already underway too. So it's really just consciously a choice right now as to whether or not, you know, regardless of what the rhetoric is behind it or the information, are you feeling your way through the content? And another thing I'll say is that this can apply to anything that involves, like, people's faces and like, there's a lot of bots on the internet, you know, like, there's a lot of people who are, and this is not conspiracy at all, because there's certain, even I think of Lil Miquela on Instagram. Lil Miquela is fully robot. She's a girl that doesn't exist. She's, like, you know, she looks like a cartoon or like a highly rendered GTA character or something, but she has this internet platform, and I don't know who runs the account, right? It's probably some tech person in California, or I don't know, maybe it says who runs the account. But Lil Miquela has, like, sponsorships and collabs with celebrities, and they'll tag her and be like, I was with Lil Miquela. It's like, no, you weren't. That's not a person. My point in talking about this is that if you have not, go to the website called thispersondoesnotexist.com. What you will find there is a artificially intelligent generator that will provide you with just, like, a random person's face that doesn't exist. And you got to look at those faces, okay? Look at them real close. Look at their eyes. There's something that's missing in those eyes. What you see when you're looking at my eyes, I'm a person. I have a soul, you know? And there are certain, all this stuff around, like, fake news and people being frauds and this and that. When I listen to someone's information, I try not to think about everything that I've heard about what accompanies this information. I try to look at their eyes. I try to look at the micro movements in their facial structures. I perceive and I read energy on an incredibly holistic way, and I know a lot of us do. And so I'm not even sure sometimes why I'm perceiving what I'm perceiving, but I get messages, I get sensations, I get a lot when I interact with any given person. And it's been like that for far longer than I've even realized. I've just started to be able to manage it better and not immediately attribute those things to myself, right? I know my energy now, and I know where it ends and begins. And so I know very particularly when I'm engaging with the energy of someone else. And moreover, when that is coming from a genuine place, or when there's, like, contortion and distortion within that. And when my personal discernment is not able to detect contortion or distortion, then it's highlighting something within me that I need to be able to heal. That's my personal opinion at this point in time. Maybe in 6 months I will speak differently on that. But my point is, it's important to train your eye to be able to recognize faces and information that's phony, because it's out there and it's talking to you more than you think. And that's it for today, because I can feel myself getting all worked up, and I don't want to do that. I want to chill the fuck out in this park in the sun with the dogs. Have a great day. Bye bye.